Yo, what's going on, guys? Today I'm going to be going over some of my favorite picks for the Week 7 Monday Night Football Showdown slate on Draftkings. For this Monday night, we got a game between the Patriots and the Jets. We're going to talk through this Showdown slate, talk through some of my favorite plays. I'll hit on who I'm going to be playing at captain, who I'm going to have the most exposure to at captain. We'll talk through some of my favorite roster builds, just how I feel like you should be building out a lineup, whether you should be going with an expensive guy at captain, a mid-range guy, or looking to a cheap play. I'll kind of hit it all in this video. Just before we do get started, guys, I would appreciate it if you would drop a like on this video and let me know down in the comments who is your top captain for this showdown slate. Who are some of your favorite plays, whether you're going to be paying up at captain for a guy like Tom Brady or Julian Edelman, or if you're going to be looking in that mid-range for someone like Michel or James White, or if you think there's even some viable cheap captains. Feel free to comment that down below. Also, if you have any feedback, if you want to critique this video, give me any pointers, anything I should be improving on, or anything that you see that I could do a little bit better on. Feel free to leave any feedback down below in the comment section. I do always appreciate that. And if you are new to the channel, if this is your first time checking out a video on my channel, be sure to click that subscribe button down below. I would really appreciate it. A lot of the people that don't watch or that do watch my videos are not subscribed, so definitely would appreciate it if you guys would subscribe and click the notification bell as well, so that way you'll never miss out on any of my new videos and you'll get notified every time I upload a new video. So let's go ahead and start off and look at the top of this showdown slate. So there's a couple guys at the top worth paying up for, but I think if I have to choose one guy, especially if I want to go for an expensive captain, I'm going to be looking at Julian Edelman. 16,800 as a captain play, 11,200 in the flex. Edelman is definitely expensive, but I do want to give you guys some value. We'll talk about some value plays later on in the video that I think make Edelman a viable captain play if you can fit him in. So no Josh Gordon Monday night for the Patriots. Expect Edelman to see plenty of targets. He already sees a ton of volume just as it is. Gets like pretty much 10, 12 targets every game. Got 15 targets last week against the Giants. Could easily see Edelman seeing double-digit targets here. If he gets into the end zone, he usually smashes because he usually gets you about 8 catches, 80 yards, just about every slate. It seems like Edelman's one of the most consistent options at receiver, especially for Draftkings with the full PPR scoring. Seems like he always catches at least like 6 to 8 balls just about every game. If I can pay up for Edelman at captain, I will be trying to do so. It looks like it's going to be hard to do that given the minimal value that we have. Like if you want to pay or play Edelman at captain and then pair him with Tom Brady, it's going to be really hard to do because there's not a lot of great plays like below 3K that I see. Maybe like a cheap tight end like Ryan Griffin you could take a shot on. But a lot of the players down below 3K really lack upside. So that's just why I don't know how much Edelman I'm going to be able to play at captain. But if I can, he's definitely the guy that I want to go to. I think he is one of the highest upside options on this slate. I think he gives you that 25, 30, 35 point upside that you're looking for out of your captain. So I do like Julian Edelman a lot. Dude always finds ways to get open. We know Brady's going to be looking to him first. Even in tough matchups, Edelman seems to always find ways to get open. So I do like Julian Edelman a lot here at the top of the player pool. The next guy we're going to look at is Sam Darnold. So obviously, I could recommend Tom Brady. Normally, I would just recommend Tom Brady, but it is pretty hard to pay up for Brady and Edelman, especially if you're trying to play one of those two guys at captain. That's why I didn't want to recommend Brady along with Edelman, because then that just really thins you out on salary. So I do like Darnold for a little bit cheaper. I believe Darnold's like $2,000 cheaper than Tom Brady. Not saying that Sam Darnold's going to outscore Brady, but we could definitely see him put up similar numbers. Darnold hasn't been that bad this year at all for fantasy in the 2 games that he's played. Played week 1 against Buffalo. I think he had about 14 DraftKings points, which isn't bad. And then last week against the Cowboys at home, he had 23 DraftKings points. This is obviously the toughest matchup that Darnold has had this year against the Patriots. The Patriots, in my opinion, have the best defense in the league. So this is a tough spot for Darnold, but you do expect the Jets to be passing a lot here. Right now, they are 10-point underdogs in this game. I don't expect them to be able to do much on the ground. The Patriots do have a very tough run defense. I think Le'Veon Bell, he's already been a pretty inefficient running back this year. We're going to see him be pretty inefficient in this game. Honestly, don't have much interest in Le'Veon Bell. I do prefer to go to guys like Darnold. I think Darnold's probably going to throw the ball 35 to 40 times in this game. We could definitely see him get some garbage time late in the game if the Jets are trailing by multiple touchdowns. Could see him get some garbage time numbers in. So I do like going to Darnold at quarterback. Slightly prefer him over Brady just given the savings, and pretty sure you're going to need those savings on the slate where we're kind of really lacking some value. So the next guy we're going to look at is Sony Michel. Now this is one of my favorite plays on this Showdown slate. He's 11,700 at the captain, 7,800 in the flex. He will probably be the guy that I use the most at captain across all my lineups. I do love Michel in this matchup as 10-point favorites. Last week against the Giants on Thursday night, he got really unlucky, missing out on multiple short yard touchdowns. Tom Brady got 2 quarterback sneaks for touchdowns, which should have went to Michel, and then Brandon Bolden vultured a 1-yard touchdown for Michel as well. So Michel could have easily had 3 touchdowns last week against the Giants. I think those short yard touchdowns do go his way more times than not. We could obviously see the Patriots just steamroll the Jets here, and they could be just going down the field, scoring easily. I expect Michel to get plenty of work. He's going to see 20-plus carries and positive game scripts. You would imagine this is going to be a positive game script for the run, as they are 10-point favorites. So I do like Sony Michel a lot. He's also been getting more targets as well lately. They've been using him a little bit more in the passing game. Obviously, James White's their pass down back that they are going to use the most in the passing game, but Michel does have a few targets the last few weeks. Probably going to be looking at 18 to 20 carries for Michel. He's probably going to see about 2 or 3 targets as well. Could easily go for 100 yards and a touchdown, if not multiple touchdowns. So I really like Sony Michel in this game. Expect him to see plenty of volume. He's a little bit too cheap in my opinion. Playing him at captain is going to allow you to pay up for guys like Brady, Edelman. If you want to try and play both quarterbacks, you could probably do that with Michel at captain. So I really like Sony Michel on this slate, one of my favorite plays. But the next guy we're going to take a look at is Jameson Crowder. So Jameson Crowder as a captain play, 10,500 as a flex play. He is 7K. So in the 2 games with Sam Darnold at quarterback, Jameson Crowder has been very productive in those 2 games. He's gone for 24.3 and 15.8 Draftkings points in the 2 games with Darnold at QB. Crowder does run a lot of his routes in the slot. I think he primarily plays just in the slot, so he will be able to avoid Stephon Gilmore. Stephon Gilmore, one of the better corners in the league, probably one of the best corners in the league, top 3 I would imagine, up there with Jalen Ramsey. Gilmore mostly does play on the outside, so he'll be matched up with either Robbie Anderson or Damaris Thomas. Much better matchup for Crowder here. He's been targeted heavily by Darnold as well. It's not like those 2 games from Crowder were just like breakout, like long runs or long touchdown scores. He was getting great volume in both of those games. 17 targets week 1, where he got 24 DraftKings points. I think that was against Buffalo. And then last week against the Cowboys, he got 9 targets, 15.8 DraftKings points. So Darnold has been looking his way a ton. He's always a great play on DraftKings given the PPR scoring and how he runs his routes. Crowder doesn't run a lot of deep routes. He's going to run a lot of short slants, a lot of quick slants, kind of like Jarvis Landry. Crowder's pretty much penciled in for 4 to 6 receptions just about every game. I feel like he gives you a very solid floor. And if Crowder is able to find the end zone, he's definitely going to be able to put up a ceiling game. So I really like Jameson Crowder. He's definitely my favorite Jets receiver out of the pretty much big 3 receivers that they have. I do prefer to go to Crowder at 7K and 10,500. Now the next guy we're going to look at, got 2 more plays. First off, Jacoby Myers. I do like quite a bit as a cheap play on this slate. 8,400 in the captain, 5,600 in the flex. He should definitely benefit from Josh Gordon being out for this game. Philip Dorsett is also questionable. It looks like Dorsett's going to play, but he could be a little bit hobbled coming into this game. And last week, Jacoby Myers did play nearly 70% of the snaps against the Giants. Josh Gordon did get hurt in that game, and Philip Dorsett was out for that game as well. So that's why Myers played a good amount of snaps. But coming into this game with no Gordon and a banged-up Philip Dorsett, could easily see Jacoby Myers play 70+% of the snaps again. I think he does make a lot of sense as a cheap captain play when you're looking for a cheap wide receiver with upside. You play him at captain at 8,400. That's for sure going to allow you to pay up for both quarterbacks, probably going to allow you to pay up for Julian Edelman as well. Might even be able to get Sony Michel in there. So I do like Jacoby Myers quite a bit as a value play on the slate. He's going to allow you to fit in all the studs that you want at the top if you do play him at captain. And even if you're just looking for a cheap flex play with some upside, I think Jacoby Myers does give you that. Last week, playing 70% of the snaps, I believe he got 4 catches for like 50 yards. Wasn't a monster game, but obviously could have a much better game if he's able to find the end zone, which is totally possible here since the Patriots are going to be pretty thin at receiver. So Jacoby Myers as a value, I do like quite a bit. But now the last guy we're going to talk about, another cheap value I'll be looking to, is Damaris Thomas. Damaris Thomas only 5K in the flex. Didn't include his captain price because I probably won't be using him at captain. Just don't think he gives you that captain kind of upside that you want. Probably would rather play Jacoby Myers if I'm going to play a cheap captain in that 5K range. But Thomas as a cheap flex play I think is totally viable here at 5K. Last week against the Cowboys, he did play 50 out of 62 snaps. Should definitely benefit with Sam Darnold under center as well. Pretty much all the Jets receivers are going to benefit with Darnold under center. We saw all of them have pretty good games. Robbie Anderson had a big game last week. Jameson Crowder had a solid game. Damaris Thomas had like 10 Draftkings points. He had a pretty solid game as well. 4 catches for 62 yards was his final line last week against the Cowboys. If I'm going to target Jets players on this slate, I do want to do it with the pass catchers. I don't have much interest in the running game for the Jets just because I don't think they're going to have much success on the ground. And I also feel like they're going to be trailing for a lot of this game and they're going to have to throw. So I'm for sure going to be looking to the pass catchers on the Jets side. And if Robbie Anderson sees Gilmore, which is totally possible, I would say Robbie Anderson's probably the number 1 receiver for the Jets. If he sees Stephon Gilmore, if Gilmore is on him a lot, that should definitely set up well for guys like Crowder and Thomas, who I do have a lot of interest in on this Showdown slate. So I do like Damaris Thomas as a cheap value flex play. When you're looking for a cheap play that gives you a little bit of upside, I think he is viable at 5K. But that's kind of it for my 6 plays for this Showdown slate. Those are 6 guys that I'll be looking to that I'm going to have across all my lineups. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I do really appreciate it. If you enjoyed, make sure to drop a like. Make sure to subscribe if you have not already. Be sure to turn on notifications so that way you get notified anytime I upload. And you'll notice on the screen right now, I do have one of my more recent videos popping up on the screen. If you want to check that video out, you can. You can also hover over my logo to subscribe if you have not already. Feel free to leave any comments, any questions, any feedback down below in the comments section. I do always appreciate your guys' comments. They do mean a lot. But that's pretty much it, guys. Thanks for watching, and good luck on this Showdown slate. Peace.